everybody. Come on in. We're going to hang out for a little while. And by the end of this feed, we're going to name this show. I have three options put up in art over there on the wall. And the first one is the one that was suggested yesterday by 4 different people. They all voted for it. The Big Yank. That's the first one you're seeing. So if you cast a vote for the Big Yank to be the name of our feeds going forward, let me know in the comments. And there'll be 2 more names that I put together come up. And when they come up, I'll ask you about that too. And we're going to pick a name by the end of this feed. And by 7 o'clock tonight, we will have a new name for our new show. Now, the Yankee Show is the next title that I've decided we're going to move forward under. One of these 3. So if you vote for Yankee Show, let me know. And the next one, I don't even remember what it is. I went through so many. I decided to use my name in some way. And hold on, I want to turn it down a little bit. But I wanted to use my name in some way, incorporate that, and then I wanted to just put everything under one umbrella so we could do anything we want and be free to explore whatever. Why restrict it into individual shows when we can just bring it all under one umbrella? So I'm going to wait just a second to make sure that we're good everywhere and live. We're up on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Periscope is up. Broadcast has been shared on Twitter. And we're up on Facebook. Now, I am a little disappointed, and I want to say something to my Facebook people. I set this feed up twice, and I accidentally shared the feed that was set up for later. Some things I wanted to talk about later, but we can talk about them now. Don't think that means we won't. I'm not going to make it be a misleading title. We will talk about that stuff. But, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. What's the next name? The Sean Yankee Show. That's the third option. So if you vote for the Sean Yankee Show for the title of our feeds moving forward, let me know. But thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for hanging out. This is whatever we decide to name it. And we're going to talk about a few things today. I have a few topics planned out that we're going to get into. And they are, Bernie didn't fail us. I want to talk about why that is. I want to talk about why the DNC must be destroyed. I'm going to talk about our stimulus checks. That money's coming. And I want to talk about how I think we need to make April Cannabis Awareness Month. We need to push to make April Cannabis Awareness Month. One of the first things we do in public action and getting something done is bringing awareness to cannabis, I think. That would be an important thing. There's a story I want to tell you about an Illinois mayor who embarrassed himself. We'll talk about life in the lockdown, how my Babels is amazing, and I want to start a book club. So there's a lot planned to talk about right now. And once I get Facebook pulled up, my settings went wrong with Facebook, and I hope we're good on there. Let me try to find it. I'm going to pull up the page on Facebook. Please forgive me, and use this opportunity to like and share and get the show out. We're just an independent little show, and everything we do depends on you. So I'm going to pull this up on my computer so I can see Facebook's comments as well. So we got some people on Facebook. Hey, Joan. Hey, Jack. Good to see some people coming in. I'm going to invite some people on Facebook as well. And some people I think might be down for a live stream. You know, a lot of people might have time. This is quarantine. We're going to talk about that, life in the lockdown. I wanted to spend a little time getting into that and what that's like, what that feels like. You know, it's a strange feeling for sure. But okay, so now I got Facebook up. I can see Facebook. I can see YouTube. Comment if you guys are here on all platforms. Let me make sure I can see comments over on Periscope. We are now on Periscope as well. We're going to be streaming on that platform as well moving forward. So, whatever we name this show, this is the first episode on Periscope, so hello to everybody over here. And I don't know how to see comments here. I will have that figured out by tonight. So I apologize if you're on Twitter. Periscope is Twitter's live streaming. If you're on Twitter, I apologize that I can't see what you're saying. But Helen's here. Some people are coming in. That's good to see. Share this out and invite friends and all of that. We're going to talk about some stuff. The title is misleading because I didn't originally plan to talk about that, what's on the Facebook title. And I plan to talk about some fun stuff. But we will talk about that because volume, is the volume bad or good? I'm assuming it was bad. Is it good now? Okay, Joan had said it too. Can you turn your volume up? See, I didn't do my audio test. I was so busy with that intro. I'm trying to figure out the intro and how I want to set that up and time it to the music and get it all right by 7 tonight because I'm a perfectionist and I want to set up the first stream tonight, the first official, whatever this ends up being named. Still low volume. There's absolutely no reason why there should be at that point. I'm as loud as my mic gets. So you can barely hear me. Let me see here. I'm going to turn the sound on the computer, so forgive me for the audio messed up here. But this is a dry run, because tonight's the first official version of whatever the show's name is. I'm going to turn the sound on the computer, so forgive me. It's really good on the computer. So let me see what it's like on my phone. See, I should have done this during the music, but I was too busy playing with the pictures and trying to get all that right. And one more promise I'll make you guys, my regular viewers will know what I'm talking about. Starting tonight, any technical difficulties, I will completely ignore them unless there's no audio or sound, of course. But I will just keep moving forward, and it'll just be a failed feed. I won't make you sit and watch me struggle. But it looks like the sound's good now. And Alicia says volume's good. Hear you great, Jack says. So right on. I wanted to talk about a few things. And the title on Facebook is now one of the options. So those are topics on the table. But I wanted to talk about, first off, the stimulus checks that are going to be arriving, they say beginning next week. So these crumbs that they've thrown our way should be coming in a few days. To those of us that have direct deposits hooked to the government, if you're waiting on a paper check, I think you're going to be waiting a little while. I don't know how long. I really don't care. I'm not that interested in the stimulus. Well, personally, I'm not getting any. I'm behind in child support, so I'm disqualified. I don't know. I at least hope that it is credited against the child support that I owe. I don't know how that works, though. But I will not be getting one, so I'm not counting the days till my check arrives because there isn't one coming. And there's lots of people like me. There's lots of people that are not getting a stimulus check. So this bailout of the people was, as everyone knows, really a bailout of corporations and all the big money interests that own this country enrich themselves. at the people's expense. So, but yeah, you should be beginning receiving your hush money, of the biggest theft in American history against the American people and against the American taxpayers. You should be receiving your hush money in the next few days. But let's see. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about how I think we should push to make April Cannabis Awareness Month. I think it's a really good idea. I threw it out for fun last night, but now I'm getting serious about it. Is there a Cannabis Awareness Month, for one? Is there already a Cannabis Awareness Month? Aw, Jack says my birthday present's on the way. Thank you, Jack. Jack, you're awesome. And I'm glad you're here, by the way. And you guys got to vote. Maybe you couldn't hear me when the show was starting. We had a little audio problem when the show started over on Facebook. But we're naming the show for tonight moving forward. So it's either going to be the Yankee Show, the Sean Yankee Show, or the Big Yank. One of those three by the end of this feed. I made artwork just so you could see it on the screen for each name. And then I just want to hear from you guys during the feed what you would like or what you think the new name should be. But Jack says, nice haircut. Yeah, I got tired of my hair. It was getting on my nerves. If you don't mind, I'm going to take this cell phone and put it on the other side of the room really quick so you don't sit there and hear it beep all the way through the feed. And I will be right back. I apologize. By the way, there's not a terrible glare, is there? Jack votes for the Big Yank. You know what? And there's a t-shirt idea that Helen came up with yesterday that's going to go really good with that name. So, hey Renee, hey Heath. Good to see some people coming in. We're hanging out. We're having a show naming party, and we're talking about a bunch of different things. We're just going to hang out for a while and talk. We're doing a dry run. Tonight's going to be the first official episode of the new permanent show moving forward. The one where everything's under one umbrella and there is no holds barred. We can talk about anything we want. So we're going to pick a name for that, work out a few audio and video glitches and get all that solid so that tonight moving forward, we can be whatever official name we decide moving forward. Jones says the Sean Yankee Show. I like that too. It's classy, right? And it's kind of like the Jimmy Dore Show, and it just lets me be me. I can do whatever I want. The Big Yank is clever, so I get that one too. Jones says the pictures is fine. Yeah, the video itself is fine. I was like more concerned about there's lighting issues I'd like to solve that I still want to fix. And I want to back the camera up more, and I want to make a few little changes. But Joan votes the Sean Yankee Show, and so far Jack has voted the Big Yank. But let me know what you think. In the meantime, Marie says the Big Yank would probably pique people's interest more. So Marie's voting Big Yank as well. That's 2 for Big Yank so far. And that was Helen's idea. So that may be the one that wins out. But there was a mayor in Illinois. And you guys know from recent feeds, and this kind of ties into cannabis awareness as well, that Illinois has been messing up big time. And they've been overcharging and price gouging for cannabis. Well, it kind of tickled me when I read this story for that reason, because I'm already kind of angry at Illinois. There's a mayor, the mayor of Illinois, sent his police squads to break up parties, and they found his wife at one, having a good time and cheating on him. You're not supposed to be having get-togethers and and parties and stuff like that during this lockdown. So this mayor sent his cops out to break up a bunch of parties and found his wife out having a great time at one. Heath votes Big Yank. I think Big Yank's going to win. Joan, the Sean Yankee show is classy, though. I do like that one. I like the Big Yank, too. You know? Let's see. Azora says, I vote for the one with your name. Definitely not Big Yank. Okay, so Sean Yankee or the Yankee show is Azora. And thank you for commenting on YouTube, by the way. Welcome. And you've been giving some great comments on the channel, actually. And saying a lot of good things. And I know you are one of the people that has noticed that this is going to be more freeing for us moving forward. We're going to be open and able to do a lot more and cover a lot more different topics. I got a lot written down that I want to get into. This was just supposed to be a practice feed for tonight. Officially, we're going to move forward every night at 7, weeknight, Monday through Friday, every night at 7 p.m. Central, which is 8 Eastern, I think. We'll have a feed. But Jones says the Sean Yankee show. There will be no confusion for anyone trying to find it, and you deserve the credit for your show as it takes off. Two good points. 2 good points for Sean Yankee show. And then, you know what? The Big Yank, it doesn't even have to go away. Because Helen's t-shirt, I want to start doing kind of merch and stuff like that. I've noticed that a lot of the truth channels that I look up to anyway use merch, like t-shirts and hats and stuff, to promote their shows and to generate revenue. And we're completely demonetized on every platform. So, well, not completely yet. I'm exaggerating. But most of my videos on YouTube don't get monetized. So I was thinking maybe doing like some t-shirts. And Helen had a really cool idea for a t-shirt. Jack says you bought cannabis at a store in Oregon for $3 a gram. I can't get Babels to move, Jack. By the way, one of the topics that we're going to cover today on this little feed, the show naming party, is going to be that Babels is awesome. My Babels is awesome. And I don't tell her that enough. So I need to focus on that during the feed. But $3 a gram? That's crazy. Man, you know what Illinois is charging? Let me do the math in my head. Almost $10 a gram. More than that. I'm bad at math. Over 10. It's almost 15 a gram. Illinois is messing up. 84 for an ounce. Thank you for doing the math. Jones says use other names if you want to focus on specific topics. That's what I'm saying. Little special features. A conspiracy. If I do a conspiracy video, a conspiracy theories and chill special episode, etc. There'd be all kinds of possibilities. Opens up the doors to free up everything to keep us from being restricted. So I'm gonna put my vote in too. We will keep it democratic, but I'm voting Sean Yankee show because I think that sounds really professional, and I get that no one knows who I am. That was one hang up in the names. Last night we were talking about names too. That was one hang up with the name, is that nobody knows who I am. Nobody knows who Sean Yankee is. So that's why the Big Yank, I can see why you guys are voting for that one, because it's clever and attention grabbing. So that one has 3 votes so far, and Yankee Show has 3 because I'm voting for Yankee Show. And I think we have to give Big Yank 4 votes because Helen officially made it, but I'm going to let her wait. I'm going to wait and see what she officially votes now that she's seen them all on the screen. But $84 for an ounce. Now that is freedom. Oregon has freedom. And yesterday, Paul was talking about how we need to focus on states and focus on the laws of the states and your state lawmakers and your state elections, and that's where most of the change happens in this country anyway. This all happens from the ground up. So we need to emulate Oregon's cannabis program, and we need to raise cannabis awareness. And I think that 420, it is 420 all month this year. I think it's an excellent opportunity to make April Cannabis Awareness Month. Jack says it was good too. There were other kinds for 5 a gram, and that was probably top shelf. Marie says 84 an ounce is freedom. Illinois is so wrong and corrupt. 70 for an eighth in Illinois. I can't do the math, but that's 4 grams. Divide that by 70, or divide 70 by 4, and that's how much it is per gram. Philip says Big Yank. That's 4 for Big Yank. Kyle says Sanders forever. Now let's get to that because it's in the title and it's probably pissing a lot of people on Facebook off. By the way, I apologize for that. That was an accident. That was a title for tonight. I was working on a summary for tonight's title and I got them mixed up. But Bernie didn't fail us. We'll just talk about it just because it's in the title. Bernie didn't fail us, and I love Bernie Sanders, and I got some stuff I need to put up still. And I'm not going to do like I did in 2016. In 2016, all of it went to the back of my closet, and there it stayed for like 6 months. I was devastated, but it's not like that this time. I'm not over it. I'm not completely done processing it, but I'm still not mad at him. You know what I mean? I'm still hurt. I'm still working it over, but I'm not mad at him. And he didn't fail us. And the reason I say that is because of all he built and all he did and the message and what he taught us. It's all still there. It can all still be used, and it's all still valuable. He's a hero of this movement, and this revolution that he built is beautiful, and we can move it together. We can move it forward together. So he didn't fail us. No matter how I end up coming to terms with what happened. And I get there's a lot of people that are more hopeful than me about what's going on and about what actually happened. But the main point, and we'll talk about this later tonight officially on the show, is that he did not fail us. But, and this is in the title too, I'm just going to get through the title real quick just so that Facebook doesn't feel robbed. The DNC, they must be destroyed. And we're going to talk about this tonight too. The DNC is a corporation, they're corrupt, and they must be destroyed. But Bernie, that's not his fault. If anything, the campaign showed us that the DNC is to be destroyed, not trusted, not converted, not changed, destroyed. They're an enemy of democracy. They stand in the way of progress. They're gatekeepers to make sure that a progressive candidate never makes it to the top. Our democracy is theatrics, and a big reason for that is the Democratic Party. I'm not praising the Republicans, and I think you can see they're more open about who they are. I'm not saying be Republican, though. I'm saying destroy the Democratic Party, make third party an option, build up other things, focus on your local and state elections and policies and the things that directly affect you. Philip says, I love Bernie too, but the Green New Deal is horrible and puts us into Agenda 21. The Agenda 21 and the Green New Deal do mesh up a lot. And Philip is right. There are a lot of... you were talking to somebody else. But there are a lot of things we're going to be able to get into on this show. And this Green New Deal does have a lot of Agenda 21 in it. And it's I forget what I'm losing track of words right now, but it's irresponsible to ignore that, is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to keep track of the votes here. I don't know. Joan says, I didn't see it. Do you know where I can find it? Oh, you guys must be talking about something. Jack says, the people that bought the DNC, millionaires and billionaires. Yeah. Marie says, I agree. All month because it's 420. Let's normalize cannabis. Being in Missouri, I have a medical card, but growing is too expensive to start. Maybe that $1,200 check will go there. That's an excellent idea for your check. And thank you for getting me back to Cannabis Awareness Month. I really think we should do that. I think that'd be a great idea to have Cannabis Awareness Month this month, no matter what anybody says. Spread cannabis awareness. Spread truth about cannabis. Matter of fact, I've pulled up an article here, and I wanted to share just a few things that cannabis does real quick. While I'm just pulling things off of this page, and it's a page of things, so I'm just pulling things off at random. But while I'm doing that, talk about anything that you have benefited from cannabis in your life and the reasons that you think that it is beneficial to humanity and should be legal. But here we go. There's a big one right here. Slows and stops cancer cells from spreading. It was found in a study published in the Journal of Molecular Cancer Therapeutics that cannabis oil has the ability to stop cancer by turning off a gene called ID-1. In 2007, researchers at California Pacific Medical Center reported that CBD may prevent cancer from spreading. The researchers experimented on breast cancer cells in the lab that had a high level of ID-1 and treated them with cannabis oil. The outcome was positive. The cells decreased and were less aggressive. In fact, the American Association for Cancer Research has found that marijuana actually works to slow down tumor growth in the brain, breast, and lungs considerably. That's very interesting. Relieves arthritis pain. In 2011, researchers reported that cannabis reduces pain and inflammation. It promotes sleep and can relieve pain and help discomfort for people with rheumatoid arthritis. Several hospitals gave their patients Sativex, a cannabinoid-based pain-relieving medication. After 2 weeks, patients on Sativex had a significant reduction in pain, improved sleep, and compared to the placebo users. I was trying to summarize what it was saying, and I didn't realize I was at the end of the sentence. Controls epileptic seizures. This is a big one. This is one that I don't know how anybody can see this, cannot see the benefits of cannabis with seizures and be on board with full legalization and definitely understand or realize that this criminalization of this plant is insane. And it's a crime against humanity to be keeping this medication from people. This can turn off seizures. Alicia says we need to continue to support Bernie and vote for him in all the upcoming primaries. Maybe we'll catch the Biden voters sleeping. Call me crazy, but I believe in miracles. There's nothing wrong with believing in miracles, and you should. If like I said last night, if my primary, I already voted in mine. Bernie, I already cast my vote for Bernie. But if I was in an upcoming primary state, I would absolutely vote for Bernie. You can still vote for Bernie Sanders. And please do. And educate people that he is still an option. You know, because we have to campaign against Joe Biden now officially. That he has to be stopped. He can't be allowed to enter the White House. We're already in a bad situation. Joe Biden just makes it worse. He doesn't improve anything. Jack says if you have broken bones and eat cannabis, it helps your bones grow stronger. So, was cannabis what was in Popeye spinach? Was that really a can of cannabis? Joan says, I would love to try it for my severe arthritis, but would not be able to do that unless it was legal. What state are you in, Joan? If you don't mind me asking. They just passed it medically here in Missouri, but there's no dispensaries open, and you have to go to Illinois, and Illinois is messing up, man. They're charging people too much. It's ridiculous. Jones says he'll get my votes in Pennsylvania. Very good. I'm glad to hear it. I am. And I hope he has more delegates at the convention, and I hope his plan works. I really do. And I'll probably help. I will. When there's primaries that Bernie's name's going to be on the ballot, I'll be there to remind people, hey, you don't got to vote for a rapist. You don't have to vote for someone with dementia who you know is incapable of the job and should never be in the situation that they're in to begin with. You don't have to do that. Here's another option. So, of course, you got to present people with a way to move forward. And this revolution does not stop. It keeps moving forward. So, yeah, definitely vote for Bernie in your upcoming primaries. You can't vote for Joe Biden, and sitting it out isn't really an option. So Marie said who Charlotte's Web was made for passed away this week. So sad, but she started a revolution for kids suffering from seizures. What was the name of the woman? Philip says if we can get the word out that he has not withdrawn to the states that haven't voted yet. Of course, the machines are rigged, so you have to pray for a rig. And it'd be easier to rig it now. Think about it. Because no one's really expecting Bernie to do well anymore. Your regular person. Because your regular person, as we talked about last night, they think he dropped out. Like Philip was saying, we have to explain to them that you can still vote for Bernie. They didn't really quit. He just suspended his campaign. But that's a lot to have to unpack now. So we do have to get the word out that he hasn't withdrawn, and then you have to depend on these damn rigged voting machines. Kyle says medical marijuana puts things in perspective for me. CBD is an absolute miracle in general. I love CBD. I love marijuana. I'm a big proponent and a big fan of cannabis. And I feel like it is very beneficial to society. It's a crime against humanity that it's kept from people. But Azora says, I find it more professional to use your name and do so consistently. You know what? And I agree with Azora. Can I have 2 votes? I like the Big Yank. I'm going to try to talk you guys into this Sean Yankee show. Because I feel like I committed to pick a name with you guys by the end of this feed, but the more I see it, every time it comes up on the screen, it looks really classy. The Sean Yankee show. Like, that's the one I'm voting for. Jack said it probably was Sean. I'm Popeye the Harley rider. Jones says, I tell everybody if you want a chance for your life to get better, you need to give Bernie your vote. That's the only place I'd be able to put mine. Marie says I'm in Missouri and I refuse to go to Illinois. So black market it is. Nothing different. Just have a card now. Yeah, like we're legal. You know, if I get caught coming from my guy's house, I don't have to tell the cop where I got it from. And that's something not everyone knows. So that would be something of Cannabis Awareness Month. If you are have a legal card in Missouri and you get stopped and you have it on you, you're allowed to have it. Even if you got it in the black market. So, and you don't have to tell them where you got it from. That's something you don't have to do. That's one of the first things they told me. Marie says Charlotte, the little girl who suffered from seizures. Oh, I thought you had said... I misunderstood your earlier comment then. But okay, thank you. Jones says every news outlet will blast the headlines that Bernie quit. So how can our voices be louder than the news media? Well, that's a challenge. And that's something that's very hard to do. See, it's on the screen again, and it really looks good. But it's going to be a challenge moving forward. And a big thing that we need to focus on. The media is an enemy, not just in this situation with the Bernie story, but in every situation. The media is an enemy. So, we support independent media and build good independent media and try to make good independent entertainment that people will watch, because the media's hold on humanity is slipping. and we need to offer people options. And then B, take all focus away from the mainstream media. The only thing that will kill it off is to pull eyeballs off screens and remove clicks and shares and all that. If you're sharing it or talking about it in any way, you're helping it. You have to completely ignore it for it to die. Enough people have to do that. And then they won't be able to sell ads, and they won't be able to raise money, and it'll end up imploding on their own. So you just pull their support. And Azora says, who does Bernie want us to vote for? Bernie. Bernie wants you to vote for Bernie Sanders. That's what he said. I made myself finish watching the feed where he suspended his campaign. And I would tell you, if I didn't believe it, Bernie wants you to vote for Bernie. He wants to get as many delegates as he can on the way to the convention. He's just not going to campaign. And I think, and again, this is a theory, which is okay. I think that what's happened here is he's been backed into a corner, and people are coming out and voting when they should be at home. You know, if you believe that this is serious, why wouldn't you believe that's important, that we should postpone, but they're not being responsible, you know. And then they did get it stopped. Him and a few other mayors and activists did get it stopped. But then the state Supreme Court overruled it and had the primary anyway. So people came out and risked their lives, and you're kind of in a tough spot because you're like, well, they're not going to blink. They're not going to back down. So it's going to have to be me. Now, I wouldn't have backed down, but I'm stubborn. Ask my ex-wife. She'd be the first one to tell you. I'm incredibly stubborn. I don't like to quit. Jones says every news outlet will blast the headlines. Oh, I read that already. Phillips says if you give cannabis to a child in California, they can take your child away. The doctors won't give prescriptions for children. What is Oregon's like, Jack, for children with cannabis in Oregon? That is awful. If you give cannabis to a child in California, they can take your child away. That's terrible. See, this is why we need cannabis awareness. And I think April is the perfect month. And it's not just because my birthday is in April, or just because this year, it's 420 for the whole month. It's because April's just a fantastic month. It's the spring, everything's coming up new, and I don't know, Jack could tell me, it might be a good time to grow cannabis. So it's a really good time to have cannabis awareness. April should be Cannabis Awareness Month. Bernie didn't fail us. Babels is awesome. The DNC has to be destroyed. And life under lockdown. We need to talk about that. I was going to try to do that after I got into the mayor story, but we got all sidetracked and everything got weird because I was trying to satisfy my requirements with the title here. Marie says all of the media, Facebook pages, all my Bernie groups, I've been plastering the above everywhere. The above. Jones says, I think he is trying to protect people's lives at his expense. He could be. I don't know. And like I said, I'm not done processing it. I haven't come to a complete decision on what it is that he's doing. I, at this point, don't agree with it, but I hope it works. I won't do anything to stop it from working, and I will push for it to work. I hope it does. And I don't have hard or bad feelings for him. And I don't feel like he failed us. So we just keep building on what's been built and not act like it's over. Nothing changed. We keep moving forward. Everything's the same. You know, everybody's upset, but nothing changed. Really. I mean, our fight is still the same. We can still change our reality, and we can still make these changes. We can get all this. Jack says you can get medical cannabis at any age here in Oregon. Doctors sign a medical card for you. Well, you're making a really good case for moving to Oregon, Jack, but we need to bring that freedom to everybody. We need to bring cannabis awareness. to society and help educate and inform people about this miracle plant. So April will be a great month for that. And apparently there is not a Cannabis Awareness Month because Philip would have known. Philip knows much, and Philip would have called me on it if there was a Cannabis Awareness Month. And I didn't catch anybody telling me there already was one. So we need one. Let's make it April. We can start getting stuff done. Let's make this something we get done. Let's bring Cannabis Awareness Month to April. But let's see, what else is on my list of things to talk about? Have I said that Babels is amazing yet? My Babels is amazing, and I need to do more about making her understand that. I definitely don't say that enough. But she is. And life in the lockdown. Let's talk about that. That's on my list. Life in the lockdown. What's that been like for you guys? Has anything changed? I'm much of an introvert. Pretty much. I spend a lot of time right where I'm at right now. This is my desk, and I spend most of my time here. Not much has changed for me, I'm ashamed to say. I am an essential employee, so I've kept working. I know a lot of people have lost their jobs. So what, 16.8 million people so far have filed for unemployment? That's crazy. But they're expecting it to get much higher before the end of this. Things are going to get bad. Jack says every state should be on the same page. Yes, I wish we could be. I wish they could get their shit together on the federal level, but they just don't seem capable of it. We need to organize. We need to start taking responsibility for this stuff. That's what I'm going to be pushing for and in favor of moving forward, is more direct action stuff and empowering people type of things. That's what I'm going to be about and the kind of message I want to spread. But every state should be on the same page. I wish it could be like that. But this lockdown, what's it been like for you guys? You know, I found something funny. It just officially started here in Missouri. The Midwest was late to the game on this lockdown stuff. And starting Monday, it was a $1,700 fine to be out. And the second offense was 48 hours in jail and a $2,000 fine. I think more people are out now than there was before. I'd have to look up arrest stats or something in some way to find out if they've even been enforcing this. Because I work at a restaurant and we've been busier than ever this week. Busier than, not ever, but during this pandemic, we're busier than we have been this whole time. So if there's such a strict lockdown in place, why am I seeing so many people out and about? You know? So that's weird. But nothing's changed for me, like I said. Some of you that are extroverts and like to go out and hang out around the people and travel and do things, you know, weirdos. This is probably really hard for you, though. Like Jack, he likes to ride his Harley. That's got to be tough. He's not stopping riding his Harley. So I don't know. Philip says Cannabis Awareness Month is always in April. In fact, the date is usually the 20th each of the year. That's why it's called 420. I kind of feel stupid now, Philip. So wait. It's all in perspective. So I win. We win. First thing we wanted to do, already done it. Cannabis Awareness Month. That's the month of April, y'all. That got done by us. Because Philip brought it to our attention. Marie says, same here. Weird to find out your normal life is called isolation. I have had MS for 20 years and been disabled for 12. Jack says, so you want to know something funny? Rhode Island is the only state that honors the Oregon medical card. Really? That's weird. Why would Rhode Island honor Oregon's medical card? Jones says, I have to be secluded in the middle of God's country. I love to be secluded in the middle of God's country. I like to be alone. I like it. I like a lot of personal time. I like it a little too much sometimes. You know, I get a little into the isolation stuff, but some people are just going stir crazy right now. Azora said, I saw an article today that used the words dropped out and that he is consulting with Joe. Um, I'm seeing a lot of media reporting that he dropped out, but last I heard, he suspended his campaign and didn't completely drop out. Helen did talk about last night at the feed that he is meeting with the Biden campaign. I don't know if that's true. I hope it's not. I'm not sure. I haven't really been following. Like I said, I'm still processing it. I will look into it tonight uh, for tonight's feed. Jack says, because they are so close to us, roll on the floor laughing. Yeah, and they're little, so they might just go ahead and accept yours instead of going through the trouble of passing their own. But anyways, the point of this, and I'm glad that we got a good group in, and it turned into something. But I hope it wasn't super weird because it felt all over the place to me. But we're just naming the show, and please let it be the Sean Yankee Show. Like, we'll take one more vote. We'll take one more vote. Let's do it that way. I want to do it fair. Everybody that sat through this whole feed is now a voter. So, one more time, we'll narrow it down to two choices. The Big Yank, we're going to name it the Big Yank, and we'll move forward under that name. I'm going to give it a category right here. Or Sean Yankee Show. I vote Sean Yankee Show. Azora, am I saying your name right? Votes Yankee Show. Sean Yankee Show. Let's see. Anybody else want to take a chance to vote? I'm going to give you a few minutes to vote. I am being like the DNC. I am trying to rig the selection. So I'm not going to give you very long. This is going to be a lot like the Nevada caucus. Do you guys remember that? Remember Nevada in 2016? It's going to be a lot like that. I'm going to slam the gavel here in a few seconds, and I'm going to call it the Yankee Show. Because every time I see it come up on the screen, I really got to tell you, just to influence your vote even a little more, to be more like the DNC, it just looks really classy. So I like it. The more I see it, the more I like it. But I'm going to give you a little bit more time, like do, and see what you think. Jones voting Yankee Show. Marie says Yankee Show. Does look classy up there. We're getting a sweep here. Dion just joined. Dion, we're having the final vote. The show moving forward at 7 tonight is going to be named The Yankee Show or The Big Yank. And that's what we're going to go with moving forward. We're naming the show. Right now, I'm voting and pushing for the Sean Yankee Show, just to go forward under that umbrella. So I made artwork for all three shows, and we've been picking a name as we talk about other things and run through some stuff to give me things to look at for tonight's feed. But Jack says Yankee Show. I converted you. Good. 5. It's a sweep. It's a sweep. Helen, we're still going to use it on a t-shirt, the Big Yank. But the show moving forward, so at 7, and every Monday through Friday, moving forward at 7, 8 Central, or no, I did that backwards, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, the Sean Yankee Show. That's what we'll be now. So yay! Brittany says the Sean Yankee Show sounds good. Okay, so it was a big sweep. Philip says Big Yank, all caps. I love the idea. I love both of them. That's why I made artwork for all three and put it up there. But I feel like it would turn it more into comedy. Like it just, if I wanted to be serious, then I wouldn't be taken serious. But I might be going too far with that. And then there is the argument that, well, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows who you are. Why would you use your name? So how would they learn who I am? You know? Like Tim Black uses Tim Black, and Lee Camp uses Lee Camp, and any other, I could point to other examples, but that probably makes yourself easier to book if you wanted to do speaking arrangements and stuff. I want to try and find a way to make spreading the truth and raising awareness and all that what I do. So whether it's little shows or getting back on the road and doing truth comedy, I'm thinking about bringing the stand-up back and doing a truth version of comedy instead of being silly trying to do like Bill Hicks or Carlin and go in a new different approach. But I want to do a lot of things like that. I want to learn or figure out how to get paid for talking. Joan says you deserve the recognition you'll earn. And I think the Sean Yankee Show gives us that opportunity. It's not as catchy as the Big Yank. The Big Yank is a more clever name, for sure. But Philip says your big letters should be the Big Yank, with under that in small letters have the Sean Yankee Show. It will bring attention, something different. Marie says t-shirts with a Sean Yankee Show in the front pocket area with the Big Yank on the back. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do merch. Dion says Yankee Show. But I am going to do t-shirts and stuff. If anybody knows how, I'm going to spend my day figuring it out. But if anybody already knows how or could hook me up with any avenues for that kind of stuff, let me know. Another thing is I'm going to set up interviews with people. Last night, some of you know, Tim Canova came to our feed. So today I'm going to reach out to him and see if he'll come on and do the show and be a guest moving forward. So, but every night at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, I gotta get used to saying the Eastern too, we'll have a show. And tonight will be the first official episode of the new show moving forward. So I'm excited to show it to you, and come back at 7 to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while here and helping me name the show. It's going to be the Sean Yankee Show moving forward tonight. And we're going to incorporate the Big Yank in some way. I just thought of an idea of having a segment on the shows, a recurring segment of the Big Yank. But that'd be great on a t-shirt and great for promotion, so we will incorporate that. But thank you for watching, guys, and helping me figure this out. And I hope I gave something of value in the middle there. Well, I will see you at 7 for an official episode of the Sean Yankee Show.